Going to be a no crank, cranks but does not start video. But we're just going to go through the motions, guys. At a it looks like a 2003 Expedition is what it looks like. He says he just bought it yesterday, and I didn't get any history on it. So is it overheated, or so we're going to find all that stuff out right now. All right, let's do it. All right, he says the car has been sitting for a few weeks. She parked it. She said there was a problem with the battery cable. She couldn't start it, so she sold it to this gentleman right here. That's good. This is a, what year is the Expedition?
08.
It's an 08 Expedition? Okay. We're gonna check fuel first. I'm not even gonna.
Need an ignition switch too.
Why you say that? It what?
It falls out.
What do you mean it falls out?
That's how she was driving.
I'm not even gonna pull codes yet. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna do quick and dirty diagnostic.
Cut off valve by the gas tank.
Yeah, you checked that? That inertia switch?
I think they did. I did. I played with it last night.
So is the button pushed in?
I pushed it. I just kept
Did it? Let's see it. Let's take a look at it. It sounds fuel related, but
you can hear it when it come on.
Oh, you do hear the fuel pump kick on?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not this. We don't even have to check it. If you hear the fuel pump kick on, it's fine. Yeah, this is the inertia switch, y'all. For in case you get in an accident, it'll pop it and it'll cut off the fuel.
Look how long this is.
21. That's 21. That was 721. So let's get some. Let's go ahead and start. Let's introduce some fuel to the intake and see if it starts up. Use some brake clean on that. Start it up. Put your foot all the way down on the gas. All the way down on the gas. Start it up. All right, stop. I see gas coming out of that, out of here. Look at all that gas coming out of there. Do that again. Make sure you don't put your face in front of that in case it backfires and the flames will hit your face. We're gonna go ahead and get scan tool on it at this time. Let's see if we got any codes. Well, I could go ahead and check for spark, but I decided not. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull codes real quick. If I have to pull a coil pack or a plug, I'll do it later. Let's just pull codes first, guys. This one has a timing chain on it. Why do you say it? Why are you asking me that? It's possible. It's certainly possible. It is a Ford. And how many miles do you have on it? I don't see it on the dash.
I think it's 243.
It's a lot of miles. These are known. How's the oil look? I didn't check the oil. How's it look? Is it brown or is it clear? Check the oil for me. Pull that dipstick for me. Let's take a look, see. We got 2 faults in the PCM right now. So I'm using this tool, guys, for everything until I get my scan tool out of the shop, out of the repair place. So far it's working good. You get live data. You can run scans on all your modules. It's actually, If I was a new jack in the automotive repair, if I was new at as being a mobile tech, this is the perfect tool. It's the perfect tool for a new guy. You can do keys, you can do diagnostics. You don't have any special functions, but oh, look at that, man. He's got a blown head gasket. That's why I won't start. That's why we're getting all that carbon coming out of there too. He's got a blown head gasket. We can really stop right now because we already know. But we'll just check anyways. See what kind of engine codes we do have. When you do your checking, you gotta check everything. Everything may play a part, or it could be a clue. You're looking for clues. But actually, our job is over with. We're done right now. You got an immobilizer. You do have an immobilizer code on here too. When it was running like shit, I'm sure. Did you ever hear it run? Yeah. I already know. It was running like shit. You got that much water in there. We're gonna finish the diagnosis. We're gonna go further. I don't know. Well, no, not really, because now you got to do an engine. These engines aren't cheap either. Very expensive. A used motor is $2,500. A used one. Let me go ahead and clear these codes because I do have a theft light. I do have a theft light in there. A theft code. Theft detected, vehicle immobilized. Ah, that's probably someone tried to open the door or something. I don't know. Erase codes. Let's go key on engine off test. So you'll start hearing some clicking and some activating going on inside the motor. Let's take a look at that oil again. Just gonna run through all the monitors and check things. Oh man, this is very sad.
It's worse than the time change.
Look at that. Look at that. No, but when you get this done, if you get it done, it's bad. It ain't gonna start. It's that bad. There's a lot of water in there. The water is going up. The level is way up here on the stick. So you probably got
so when she thought this had
a gallon or two extra water in here.
When she thought this was leaking, it wasn't leaking, it was going into the oil.
It's going straight into the oil. It's going straight into the oil. You got about 2 gallons, a gallon to 2 gallons of water in that oil pan. So that level's like this, normal, you're way up here in the oil level. You got about 2 gallons. It's so full that you're so full of liquid inside your oil pan that it's up against the pistons. It's full. It ain't got nowhere to go. You hear what I'm saying? It's full. It's like you got a half a jug of milk. All right? You got a full jug of milk. You know, cap's tight. Yeah, it ain't got nowhere to go. So, you know what? I want to check. I know it ain't going to start. I kind of want to pull out a plug. Let's pull out a plug on this side and we'll pull out a spark plug on that side. I already know you need a head gasket. I already know. But let's pull out a plug and we'll do a little extra stuff while I'm here. I just asked me, can I put some block seal in it and get by? And I said, no, you can't put block seal because it has to be running for at least an hour at idle in order for a Blue Devil to work, something like that, a block seal. So yeah, this is not a candidate for a Blue Devil treatment. I just want to pull out a plug and let's take a look at the plugs, and I'm sure she put some new ones in there and new coil packs. So she overheated.
The heater coil went out too. She got that plugged off.
Oh, maybe that's where the leak was coming from. Is your floorboard wet over here on the passenger side?
It wasn't. She took all the mats out.
So it was wet. I don't know. Let's take a look. No, it looks dry. It looks dry. So I don't know why it overheated, but I know it did overheat. And then it started running bad is what I'm thinking what happened. It was running bad, and then she started doing coil packs and new spark plugs and everything. I didn't look at the spark plugs yet, but I'm gonna pull one out. And we can see if water shoots out of the cylinder. So let's do that. Let's pull out a couple spark plugs. So we're gonna do a no start since we already know it's a head gasket blown.
That's what I watched last night.
What'd you watch?
I had watched on YouTube. If truck turn over but don't start.
Yeah, cranks but does not start is how they say that. Okay. Yeah.
And I watched him.
Did they say anything about a head gasket, possible head? They didn't say none of that. Well, we're gonna cover all of it. Do me a favor, go ahead and crank that over. Let's just check for spark. It's one of the things you have to check on a crank but does not start. I got my tester on that. It's connected to battery negative right here. Go ahead and crank it over. I'm sure we're gonna get a spark. That's a good spark. All right, so we know we got spark. We more than likely have spark on all these cylinders. So what we can check right now is we can check, we already checked with fuel. It did not start. You guys saw that. So the only thing really left on a crank but no start is making sure that we have injection pulse. So let's go ahead and check one of the injectors to make sure the computer is sending out that signal to pulse the injectors to squirt fuel. So let's do it. Let's get a test light on this test. You can do this with the test light. You're touching one pin. See it lights up? That's good. That's good. So the other pin, all right, so you're gonna go to the opposite wire. This is the one that lit up when the key was in the on position. So you're gonna go to this one. You're gonna stick a pin in there. So let's get the pin in there. I'm just marking it right now because I had to go to my truck to get a pin. So anyways, we already had it marked. So we're gonna get our pin and we're gonna put it in the opposite one, not the one that lights up again, the other one. Because this wire is the one that goes straight to the computer. That one, because the computer pulses it. So let's go ahead and plug it back into the injector. Okay. Plug it back into the injector. Then we'll take our test light, and now we're going to move this to battery positive. We're going to supply voltage to that, and the computer is going to ground that voltage, and it's going to send a pulse. So this light will blink if you have injection pulse. Now if it blinks, we already know the security system is not shutting down the vehicle. So we have lights now. So let's go ahead and crank it up. You'll see it on the video if you watch it. Let's go ahead and crank it up, and if that light blinks, the computer is sending an injection pulse. It is squirting fuel, or at least sending the signal. Start it up. All right, that's good. All right, so in a no crank, no start condition, you want to check fuel. I have to redo this part. Put a little carburetor cleaner, some starting fluid in the intake. If it acts like it wants to start after you do that, after you inject a fuel source in there, it's going to be a fuel problem. You got a fuel pump relay bad, a fuel pump bad, something like that. It's going to be a fuel related issue. All right, so it didn't even want to start when we sprayed that in here. So then I go to spark. So we check for spark, and we did that already. You guys saw that. So we're getting spark, and now we got injection pulse. So we know it's not the injectors, the coil, or a fuel pump. We already know. So the only thing left here right now is only thing left to do now is to do a compression test. on this one. I mean, we already know it's a head gasket. We're gonna pull a plug anyways, just to look in there and see if there's water in the cylinder. And there probably is gonna be. There's a lot of, it's really milky. But any other no start condition, yeah, this is how you do it. This is the procedure to do that. So let's pull a plug out. Okay, now on this one, I pulled out the plug, but if you guys look down up in the hole, you probably can't see it. There's trash built up. There's trash built up on it. I can't even get the socket over the spark plug. There's that much trash in that hole. So let's take off another one.
So the car probably was sitting up and she cleaned it up.
I don't know what happened. There's a lot of dirt in there. I mean, it's full. The spark plug is half full of dirt.
So she changed out the spark plug.
No, she didn't change out the spark plugs. I know that for sure. We're gonna pull out another plug. All right, guys. It looks like all of them are full of dirt. You can see the dirt right there. You see the dirt right there. So they're all full of dirt. So that's it, guys. I am not pulling out any spark plugs. I already know what's going on here. So you can't drive this motor with a blown head gasket with water in the oil like you guys just saw. So you can't do that. This one's gonna have to get redone. Drop another motor in it, or take the heads off and do the timing chains and the oil pump. And since I haven't heard this vehicle run, if this was my vehicle, I would go ahead and drop the oil pan, put new bearings, some rod bearings on it, all of them, all 8 of them. And that way I feel a little bit better about it's not gonna knock after I get all this work done. And now I hear the lower end of the motor knocking. So that's how I would play this one. I'd get another motor, or I'd take my time, do a head job, do the timing chain, do the oil pump, do the tensioners and the everything else inside the timing. Do new phasers, everything new. And don't cheap out on the phasers. Don't buy those cheap ones you buy on eBay. Get some good phasers, like OEM phasers. And that's it, guys. This is a crank no start diagnostics. I'm not gonna go any further. We have no check engine lights on. The injectors are firing, which tell you that the security system is not shutting down the starting. We have spark, we have fuel. You can also test it with the gauge. And I just bought that brand new fuel pressure gauge, but it's not in my truck. Dang it. So I'm gonna push that little nipple in and it should squirt out a little bit of fuel. And you know, for the people that are like, man, it ain't got no fuel, it don't start. Man, we just put some carburetor cleaner in there. It should act like it wanted to start. You guys saw that, right? So we got fuel. And I didn't even turn the key. I guess I can turn it for you. I got an old pressure gauge in here we can use. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. See what I'm talking about? These ones that you buy at Harbor Freight or the parts stores. What happens is these little nipples come out of the inside. They don't last. None of them last. I have several of them in here. You guys, I got several of them. I got some down underneath. So they work, but every one of them. So don't buy cheap fuel pressure testers if you're a mobile tech. Don't buy cheap compression or fuel pressure testers. That is just a tip, guys. It's just a tip. So I hear the fuel pump kick on. Okay, I got turned on the ignition. So we should have a little bit extra pressure in here. I'm gonna show you. Okay. All right, guys, that is it, man. I'm gonna go ahead and button them up. I'm gonna do a little extra for him. I'm gonna just go ahead and scan this green truck because he's got some problems with that. And that's a wrap. But that's the end of this video, guys. I'm talking to you later. It's Hayes Mobile Auto Repair. We're in Jackson, Mississippi. Peace.